Welcome back to the conversation. I'm Noube. Conversation, talk about different things going on in the community. We got a real big workshop coming up, our first annual February 8th media workshop. It's really designated to students who really want to get a job in media. And I'm really been blessed and fortunate to be around some really great people who are doing great things in the city of Brockton. Last time we had Anthony Goss over here joining us on the conversation. This time we have, and I'm going to say, I think he's the best editor, best cinematographer in New England right now. I'm here with Rui Lopes, Rui of Noube Productions. Rui, thanks for coming on the conversation.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Rui, you're going to be on the workshop in a few weeks from now. Just talk about, just kind of give the viewers kind of a preview of what you're going to talk about and what do you do right now?
Well, first, I just want to thank you again for inviting me to come in through to the workshop itself and be able to give back what I've learned the last few years. So I'll just break it down real quick. So myself and three of my partners, we own and operate a video production company. So it's a full-service production company. We provide pre-production, production, and post-production. Whether it's as of lately, we've been doing a lot of commercial work. So we have a lot of commercial clients, and we provide work for the social media, for the websites, and things of that nature. But our main goal is to be able to produce original work. So whether it's documentaries or full feature films, narrative work, especially this year, we're trying to get more into creating things like reality shows or reality series, so scripted series, right? So with this workshop, I think one of my goals is to be able to give insight in regards to what myself I've learned over the last couple of years. One of the biggest things being creating relationships. And that goes a long way into be able to getting you where you're going. I'm pretty sure, from your experiences,
Absolutely. You've
noticed that.
Absolutely.
Especially the last year or so, I've built relationships I've kind of built onto themselves. You meet one person, introduces you to the next person. So a lot of my goal for this workshop is just to kind of give some of the insights of what I've learned over the last 24 months specifically to get me to where I am right now.
So talk about me. You're basically like you're the boss of Noube Productions. I mean,
The CEO, yep.
You're the CEO.
Yeah.
So talk about the responsibility to that, because I think a lot of times when people talk about media, they say they don't. I don't want to have a boss. I don't want to work 9 to 5. Which is cool. You don't work 9 to 5,
Yeah.
but to talk about the responsibilities that you have if you don't want to work a 9 to 5 to be the CEO and kind of be the man or the woman of your business.
To be honest with you, being the CEO or just being an entrepreneur in general, it's not to me. I don't look at it as a 9 to 5 or 40 or 80 hours. It's a life. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice that you make to know that from the moment you wake up until you go to bed, that dream or that goal that you have is literally your whole day. That's what you breathe and eat, right? So a lot of what comes with being a CEO is the responsibility of making the right decisions, because at the end of the day you have other people that are reliant. They're putting all of their faith behind you, trusting that you're gonna lead them to that promised land that they've been trying to get to. So it's a lot of you concerning yourself over whether or not you're making the right decisions. Just sitting at times, it could be a very lonely path as well, because you're having to sit there at times and just contemplating of whether or not the decisions you're making are the right decisions, the people that you're meeting are the right people, the people that are working with you. That's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the last 3 or 4 years is getting the right people to kind of march with you on your journey to get there, right? Making sure that you have the people that are not just talented but have the passion, and then are able to listen and able to follow, because for the most part you're having a lot of grown men together. Everybody wants to lead, right? So as a leader, your job is to be able to make sure that you can get them to be able to believe in your decisions as much as you might believe in your decisions as you're going along.
How do you decipher between leading and really taking a real hands-on approach, as opposed to, okay, I need this production assistant to do so-and-so, or, as a CEO, as a leader, I got to just go and take advantage and do it myself?
So that comes into trust, right? Mm-hmm. So, and to be honest with you, Noube, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I've been trying to learn over these last 24 months is learning to let go. Because when I first started, 2009, 2010, I was doing all this on my own. So I was editing, I was shooting, I was doing all that. So after years, you start to grow this mentality that, you know how to do all these things, right? So as soon as you start to see somebody else that you've given this task to do something, and they start to kind of go off path, you automatically want to jump in there and try to fix it for them. So I feel like what I've been trying to learn is trusting that, you know, if you teach them the right methods, and, you know, if they've been there long enough with you, that they'll be able to accomplish, or to be able to finish what you've given them, right? So a lot of that is really just trusting the person that you've given that task to. But it goes back to, as I said, working with the right people. If you have the right people working with you, and you've been teaching them, or you've been kind of pushing them in the right path, then I think that trust can come a lot easier. So to me, I think how to figure out the balance between letting them do it on their own or coming in is really just trust. It's just kind of taking yourself back a little bit and just realizing that, you know what, if you've picked the right person for that job, then they can perform that job the right way. And at the end of the day, if they don't, let them finish it. Because you don't want to be able to take their confidence away. So you don't want to go right in there and just kind of, so you just let them finish the job. And then at the end, come back, sit with them and show them, kind of like a coach watching film, and show them all of what they've done wrong and then where they can improve in the future.
Yeah, I think it's a hard line, you know. Yeah. You got to teach yourself. I'm blessed right now where, you know, we work with a lot of freelancers, but for the most part, it's myself and Will on productions, and we got it down to a science where I don't mean to say, you know, what I'm looking for, you know, we'll be able to shoot what I'm looking for and vice versa. So, you know, in terms of adding different people, in terms of, you know, even me teaching, you know, I get this, okay, I got to do everything. But so the cool thing is that, you know, I'm older, we're both in our 30s. So now we kind of got to be the big brothers and the mentors. It's funny, someone called me an OG. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, I'm only 31, man. I'm in my prime, man. I'm not an OG. So, you know, but it's funny how people are looking at us.
But that's a sign of respect, though, if you look at it.
But people are looking at us in terms of, okay, which is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? People are looking at us, okay, you know, Noube, Rui, you know, what should we be doing now? Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always telling people, I'm like, you know, I said, the person, you know, your competition makes you better. You know, so I'm always seeing what you're doing. I'm always watching what you do. I'm studying what you're doing. You know, because I want to learn. I want to get better.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think, to me, I don't want to cut you off, but I think to me, likewise, it's funny because there have been a few times where I'll sit there with my partners and then I'll bring you up and what you guys are doing, right? So when you won that the Emmy, to me, that was a big thing for me, just even for the city, just to be able to have somebody from where I came from. For example, like what you're doing, what Gene Ellie is doing.
Yep.
When I see guys that I went to school with that are doing it at that level, it just pushes me, you know. So I already have that drive, but it just kind of pushes me even more to know that it's a big possibility, you know, that I can get myself to where I want to go because I've seen other people that I grew up with that have that passion, you know. So it pushes me just as much as it pushes you or anybody else.
I think what's special about you is and there's more people, but I just don't know in terms of this area that have really taken this full time and been successful.
Yeah.
Which I think that's so important for people to know your story. Like, listen, I've taken this on my own, and not on your own, but with a great team.
Yeah.
Leading it. Now we're something where I can stand on my 2 feet and really take over and really make a living of this on your own, which I think is really special.
And it's to be honest with you, it's a scary thing. Taking that risk of just dropping everything else and putting all your whole life behind this over here. I mean, even to this day, as we're sitting here, it's a risk, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know at the end of the day where it's going to lead you, right? But I figured if it's a life that I'm looking for, I can't just sit there and put my time towards this stuff. I have to be able to focus my attention 100% towards this, and it was a big risk. But I don't know if I let that fear cripple me, you know, because at the end of the day, if you have that passion for it, you know, whatever that risk is, that passion is going to be able to almost like put a little wool over your eyes when that risk comes in front of you, where you don't see the risk. All you see is the possibility and the possibility of getting to where your goal is.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to a few people, just a few friends a few days ago, and I said, you know what? I'm not worried about fundraising for our next documentary, because I said we never let ourselves down. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you know, you're working and you're doing this as an entrepreneur. I'm like, Rui is not going to let himself down. That's the cool thing about being your own boss.
No,
you're never going to shortchange yourself.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're not going to let yourself down.
No.
So if that's the mentality, you're not going to fail because you're not going to let yourself down. You literally can't do that.
Exactly. And as I said, if in my position, especially the position that you're in, you have somebody like Will, you might have other people, right? And as I said, they're sitting there and they might be taking a bigger risk than you are because they're believing in you. They're just sitting there believing that, you know, whatever decisions you make, whatever path you bring them along, that it's going to be the right path, right? So, I think it's a scary position to be in sometimes if you were to ever take a step back. But it's a beautiful. To me, it's probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. Was just kind of putting my all behind this and just kind of, you know, going with it and putting all your eggs in that basket and, you know, putting your focus behind it 100%.
Listen, if you want to hear more about Rui and his story and the things he's doing, you got to come to the workshop. It's going to be February 8th at the Brockton Public Library in the multi-purpose room, 11 to 2. Make sure you register, okay? Make sure you register. It's free. Everything's for free. I suggest that you go in there, and I would suggest to bring a resume, okay? You never know. You want to stay ready for you have to get ready, but it's an opportunity. It's a tangible workshop. People can walk in and walk out an internship. Walk in, and how many times you see in Brockton, you have a music producer, you have an editor, 2 reporters from Boston, from 2 major markets, and you have an actor from New York in one room. You don't get that too often.
It is a great opportunity. I have not seen that before. It's a great opportunity for people, especially for people in this community to be able to have that. It's a beautiful thing. Absolutely.
It's for free, so I highly encourage everyone to come. So, Rui, I want to thank you coming on the podcast. You're welcome anytime.
No problem, man. Thank you. Anytime you want.
And we already know our next documentary, Discriminant Immigration, I definitely want to do some work with you on the next project. So.
No, definitely. I think to have 2 heavyweights from the city collaborating to be able to do that for the city is going to be a beautiful thing. So it should be good.
All right, guys. Until next time for the conversation, I'm Noube Productions. Godspeed.